Hey everybody, this is Coop from Demonic Legion. I've got a battle report today of 1,500 points of Demons of Chaos versus my friends the Lizardmen. So my list, this is probably the nastiest list I could think of to put together for only 1,500 points. For my heroes, I've got 2 Heralds of Tzeentch, both with a Lore of Metal. I've got 3 units of 10 Pink Horrors of Tzeentch. They all have standards, and one has the Lichbone Pennant. It's just how the points worked out, and also I like sticking one of the heroes in that unit so that it has a 4-up against magic, rerolling 1s. I've got a unit of 4 Beasts of Nurgle, another unit of 3 Beasts of Nurgle, 3 Screamers of Tzeentch. I usually take 2 units of Chaos Furies instead of the Screamers, but I thought I'd try out the Screamers. It's kind of nice because if you deal wounds using Tzeentch magic, you can roll a die for each wound you dealt, and on a 4, 5, and 6 you regrow a Horror, but on a 6 you can regrow an entire Screamer, and you can grow past the initial amount. So if you do a lot of wounds and you get kind of lucky and roll some 6s, you can grow back some Screamers, which is cool, or grow additional Screamers. And then I've got 2 Skull Cannons in the rare section. So this is about as good of a list as I can put out on the table. It's got a lot of shooting, it's hard to pin down, and there's a lot of small units. So this is my general, my Herald of Tzeentch. He rolled up Searing Doom and Gehenna's Golden Hounds. So he rolled up Golden Hounds, and then he also got the 5 spell, which I think is Transmutation of Lead. I really don't like it. It, I think, reduces their weapon skill by 1 and their armor save by 1, so I dropped that down for Searing Doom. So he's got Searing Doom and Golden Hounds. My other Herald, this pink guy, has got Glittering Robe, so he can give a 5 plus Scaly Skin to someone. And then also Enchanted Blades of Aban, which is probably my favorite spell from the lore, which gives the unit +1 bonus to hit, and also gives them armor piercing. It's really good for Beasts of Nurgle because normally usually they hit on 4s, so this way they're hitting on 3s, and also gives them -2 to armor saves instead of just -1. So it's really good value on Beasts of Nurgle. My horror unit with the Lichbone Pennant rolled up Glean Magic. You roll off a die with another enemy wizard, and if you roll higher than them, adding together the die and your wizard level, the opponent loses a wizard level and you steal a spell. It's not the greatest spell for Pink Horrors, but I decided to keep it because I'm trying to roll Infernal Gateway on one of the other units. The other horror unit got Blue Fires of Tzeentch, which is D6 Strength, D6 hits. It's the signature spell. And then the last one got Bolt of Change, which is just a bolt thrower spell, and Strength D6 +4, and is multiple wounds D3. So I didn't get Infernal Gateway, which was unfortunate, but these are actually some pretty decent shooty spells. So, deployment, on my left, you can see the Screamers of Tzeentch, 4 Beasts of Nurgle, one of the Skull Cannons, a unit of Pink Horrors. This one has the Herald in it that has the augment spells. My opponent in the back has 4 Ripperdactyls, some Skinks. This is before Vanguards, by the way, so he ends up moving his Ripperdactyls up. His first Salamander, a big unit of Saurus over here that has his General on the far right, who has the Dawnstone, so he's rerolling armor saves. He's also got the Talisman of Preservation and the other Trickster Shard. So he's got a 1-up armor save that is rerollable, a 4-up ward save, and opponents are rerolling their ward saves. So really good kit for this guy. He's very, very difficult to kill. And he's also got a great weapon, so he's Strength 7. He's also got his BSB in here, so both of the General and the BSB are on cold ones. And I forgot to mention over here, he's got a level 2 Skink Priest, Lore of Beasts. It has Wissen's Wild Form and Curse of Anrahir. Curse of Anrahir does It's a hex spell, and the unit is -1 to hit, and if it moves for any reason, it takes dangerous terrain test, failing on 1s and 2s, so it's a very good spell, and really disincentivizes you from moving. Over here, he's got Croxigar, which are not actually Croxigar. He forgot all of his flying bases for his Pterodons, so these Croxigar are really Pterodons, so I'll keep reminding you guys that. He's got Skinks over here to the far right. He's got a Salamander, and he's got some Chameleon Skinks. I think this picture is actually after his first turn of movement, so he ends up moving these guys up. And on my far right flank, there are 3 other beasts. My unit of pink horrors with the general, the skull cannon of corn, and then pink horrors. So he ends up getting the first turn. He moves up pretty aggressively. He flies his Ripperdactyls up right in the face of my pink horrors, so they're not going to be able to get out of the way. I'm not super concerned because I've got 3 units of them, and I can afford to take some casualties. He has a unit of Skinks up here that moved up. The Salamander moved up, and he pretty much just pushed forward with everything. On the right, he's got his Pterodons that are facing down these pink horrors, and his Chameleon Skinks took a couple shots here and there, but were not really successful. In his magic phase, he wasn't really able to do much. I think he rolled a 3 for the magic phase. So turn 1 Demons. I decide to charge his Salamander with my Skull Cannon that was at the far right. He elected to flee, and I tried to redirect into his Skinks. I was successful, but they also fleed. So he's got everyone really towards the back end of his of the table over there. And my Skull Cannon had a failed charge, so he's not going to be able to shoot this turn. Next, I just moved up my Beasts and my Screamers so that I will be able to kind of close him in and maybe get some combo charges and overrun into other units. I take my Skull Cannon and I turn him to face the Ripperdactyls. I'm going to take some grape shots at them during the shooting phase. So during Winds of Magic, I get a 12, and on the Reign of Chaos table, that is, you get to summon a free unit. So I ended up summoning 8 Plague Bears, and I put them way back here to face the Skinks. So if he happens to rally, I'll be able to charge them on my next turn. And if he's unsuccessful at rallying, I'll charge them anyway and hopefully get them to flee off the board. So for Winds of Magic, as you can see, these Chameleon Skinks are gone. I did Blue Fires of Tzeentch on them. I think I killed 4 of them with the spell. And then Tzeentch spells have an effect called Warp Flame. So whenever you do a wound to a unit using a Tzeentch spell, they take a toughness test at the end of the phase. If they pass the toughness test, they get regeneration 6. If they fail the toughness test, they automatically suffer D3 wounds with no armor saves. So kind of an interesting effect. If you do it on low toughness units, it's good because you can sneak through a couple extra wounds. If you do it on high toughness units, it's usually bad because you'll give them regen. But he ended up failing his toughness test, and I killed the other 2. So this is turn 2 Lizardmen. He charged his general out of its unit and went into my pink horrors of Tzeentch right here. I wasn't really expecting him to do this. I had measured my pink horrors from his block over here so that he'd need to roll an 11 on the dice to get in with the movement of the Saurus. But I hadn't thought about him charging out of the unit, so this was a very easy charge for his general. His Salamander back here did not rally, so it's still fleeing, and his Skinks were successful at rallying. Also, his Ripperdactyls down at the bottom successfully made it into my pink horrors that were right in front of them. These Skinks over here are fleeing. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I think I might have cast a spell. Oh, you know what happened? He cast Wissen's Wild Form on this big block here and got Irresistible Force. He ended up rolling double 1s for the miscast, which is the sucked into the warp one. He wasn't sucked into the warp, but he did take a large blast template with strength 10 hits. He ended up killing 4 skinks, and he did 1 wound to the salamander. He failed his panic test, and they basically fled towards the edge of the board. So that was really an unlucky break for him. This is just a shot of his general going into my pink horrors. And turn 2 demons. I forgot to mention, sorry, I'll go back for a second. I forgot to mention what happens after combat. So, this is actually after combat, sorry. So my Herald of Tzeentch heroically challenged out his general to save the rest of my pink horrors and guarantee that he'd be steadfast and have an additional rank. So I think he ended up doing 3 wounds to my pink horrors. So he beat me in combat, but I'm steadfast, so I rolled under, I think I rolled a 6 or something, so I didn't take any wounds. And then his Ripperdactyls were actually really unsuccessful against my pink horrors. I should mention in this game I was rolling really well for all of my ward saves, so probably don't expect this list to do quite as well next time. I was just rolling very well for 5s and 6s. So my turn, I take the Plague Bearers into the Skinks. He kills, I think, maybe 1 or 2, doing stand and shoot. And then I don't think I moved. Oh, I took my Screamers of Tzeentch and charged his skink unit with the level 2 Beast Mage, and he fled even further away, so it's really close to off the board, which is great for me. I moved up the Beast of Nurgle a little bit so that I'll be able to go into this big block of Saurus if I need to next turn. And I also took my Skull Cannon into his Ripperdactyls. So I really liked this because I'm Strength 5 on the charge with the Bloodletters and Strength 6 with the cannon. And all those impact hits, I'm pretty confident I'll be able to win this combat. So during the magic phase, I don't think I rolled anything too exciting. I don't think there was really anything to note. And on the far right, I reformed my pink horrors. He had flown his pterodons over them and done a couple wounds due to rock dropping. And this is a shot after combat, so my Plague Bearers were able to do 1 wound to the Skinks, actually 2 wounds to the Skinks, and I charged them, so he was down by 3. He ends up fleeing and popping out the other side of his unit. So I'm in a great position here. If he rallies anything, I'm going to be able to charge, and if he's unsuccessful in rallying, I can push anything off the table. And then over here, this is a shot after combat as well. The Skull Cannon only rolled a 1 for his impact hits, so I only killed, I think, I only did a wound maybe with the impact hits, but through combat I was able to do a decent number of wounds to the pterodons, and then I rolled super well for my my pursue. I think I actually rolled 3 6s for the Skull Cannon, so he caught the Ripperdactors no problem. And this fight over here against my pink horrors, I don't even think he pushed any wounds through. He might have flubbed his attacks, and I might have saved a couple. So we're just kind of stuck there in combat. Turn 3 Lizardmen. This is actually the last turn of the game. We decided to call it after this. So all of his units failed to rally in the back. So he lost a Salamander, both of his Skink units, and his Caster. And over, so these are the guys that had died. And over here, I still have my Skull Cannon. We've got 3 beasts over here, another unit of 4 over here, and the Screamers. So he's going to get boxed in pretty much immediately. So at this point, he decided to concede, especially since his general was stuck in this combat for what would be a very long time. So pretty good win for the Demons. It was a quick game. I've got a second report that you can watch after this one that is us playing again with pretty much the same lists, so you can see that. It ends up lasting the full 6 turns, and it's a little bit more exciting. So closing thoughts, I really like this list. If you're looking for a 1,500 point list to play, this is a pretty good option. I do wish I had the Chaos Furies instead of the Screamers of Tzeentch, just because Chaos Furies give me 2 redirectors, so I can really slow down any big blocks my opponent might have. Lore of Metal is really good in this kind of a list, actually. Enchanted Blades of Aban makes Beast of Nurgle great. Searing Doom and Gehenna's Golden Hounds are both really nice spells because I don't have too many things to deal with high armor. I have the Skull Cannons, but my opponent's got a big block of Warriors, for example, or a really hard to kill General with 1-up armor save. Searing Doom can really help out in that area. And also, Glittering Robes is kind of nice. I can give my Skull Cannons better save, and I can also give all of my units a 5-up armor save to begin with, so that they'll have a little bit better chance in combat. So overall, it was a good win for the Demons, and I really enjoy this list. So thanks for watching, and check out the second video where we get through the full game.